Okay, guys, it's time for another quick fire Q&A. Questions asked by you, answered directly. Let's get right to it. My first question comes from Danielle Making Moves, and her question is, why can't they own up to anything they're doing? The answer to this is narcissists are big fat liars. No, they can't own up to anything they're doing for a multitude of reasons, but the main being they lie to get what they want. Narcissists, by definition, are self-centered. The world revolves around them. Everything they do is so they are happy, they are pleased, things go their way. And they have no problem lying or stepping on other people's toes to accomplish that. They can't own up to it because they can't admit there's any fault. They're perfect in their own eyes, and to own up to anything, to admit any wrong, would mean they are admitting that they are flawed, and they can't do that. Narcissists are perfect in their own minds. They're quite deluded, and owning up would crack that facade. Thanks, Danielle. My next question comes from J.S. Yang. What happens when the narcissist's new partner is way more narcissistic than himself? Will he stay in that relationship until he gets discarded? That's just going to be a power struggle. When two narcissists get together, they're going to be a lot of stubborn type behaviors because narcissists don't give. They can hold off. They have these really, really tough exteriors and these stubborn attitudes. So I think that there will be a lot of silent treatments, and there will be a lot of power struggles, and one of them will eventually leave the other. I can't see that working long term. And it's very hard to predict what any one narcissist will do. They're all different, even though they follow the same playbooks and they act the same, and we can all relate to each other's stories. Each individual is still their own person, and they will do what is good for them. Sometimes they will stay in a relationship until they get discarded. Sometimes they must always do the discard, and they'll jump from relationship to relationship. So it's hard to predict what any one person will do without knowing them, without seeing their past history. But with that being said, that is the best indicator of what they will do. Look at their past. If you see any patterns, that's what's going to be most likely to continue. My next question is from Ms. Miller, and she's asking why the narc keeps his new supply hidden. Well, that's to protect his old supply. If his new supply is out in the open, he is or she is likely to lose any existing supply. So narcissists want as much supply as possible. So by keeping supply hidden from each other, then he can collect more and more. Julia Lights is asking about married narc men and their affairs. We know that narcissists are often very, very prone to infidelity. Again, it comes to supply. They want as much supply as possible. A lot of them are sex addicts, and that feeds their ego. So they just have affairs to gain more supply. The more people that they can pull supply from, the better for them, because that's their lifeblood. That's what fuels them. Without that supply, they go into a depression, they get very sad, they can't really function properly. So by them going outside of the marriage and getting that validation and that affection and that self-esteem boost, that's what feeds them. That's why they do it. Okay, let's go for one more question here. From Jenny Zappa. She asks about their insatiable need for control on every level. Wow, they really do need to be in control. And again, this is just another trait of narcissists. They are very controlling. They need to dictate what you are doing, how you're doing it, when you're doing it, and with who you're doing it. And as soon as they sense that you have any individual thoughts or motivations, they're going to be very upset by that. They're going to have a narcissistic injury and go into a narcissistic rage. And it's because of their need to abuse you and control you. They have to have their thumb on you at all times. To them, you are a possession. They own you. So when you start showing that you have a mind of your own and acting out on your own, that is an insult to them. How dare you have your own personality, your own thoughts and opinions? That's what gives them power. They are powerless without power over someone else. This, again, it comes to fueling them. They need to always take from other people. They're parasites. Don't forget, we compare narcissists to parasites in a lot of ways, and they really are. They don't have confidence. They don't have esteem. They don't have a personality. They need to leech on to other people and steal theirs. And so that's why they control you, because you give them life. Their personality comes from you, and they have this sense of entitlement that they own you and they get to control you. Okay guys, I hope I answered a few of your questions here in this quickfire Q&A. If you want to ask me any more questions, please go ahead and just type them in the comments below this video and I will get to them in the next video. I love you all.